The 2015-2016 Governance Task Force, referred to as the GTF, made 53 recommendations grouped into 4 themes: strengthening dialogue, building participation, building confidence in decision-making, and reinforcing the role of special places. This video describes the key recommendations for building confidence in decision-making. One key concern for the GTF and for the Eastman Board of Directors and Council was that only a minority of the respondents to community surveys said that they thought their ECA Council representatives sought their views, or that decisions reflected the views of the broader Eastman community. Similarly, only 45% felt their views were adequately represented. The controversy over the project to rebuild the center reflected this dissatisfaction. In response, the Governance Task Force proposed 2 steps to promote communication between owners and their representatives, and 2 mechanisms to provide a check on decisions made by the board and council. The first step is to create a formal process to actively recruit a more diverse group of owners to serve on ECA committees, where many decisions are formed. The second step is to require committees to reach out to owners through multiple means, including focus groups, email requests for input, and communication through special places. This is important because committees provide important input to the council during the formation stage of many proposals. Committee outreach will help members fashion proposals that will have broad community support. We believe that these steps will mean that any large project in the future will be developed through a process that will create a broad consensus in the community. But as a check on this process, we have proposed a limit on the board's authority to incur long-term debt, that is, to borrow for capital projects. Borrowing beyond an amount equal to 1 times ECA's total revenue would require a majority vote by the owners. Since most capital projects are financed at least in part by borrowing, this puts a reasonable brake on the board, but it does not set the threshold so low that the owners would need to vote on the routine maintenance of capital items. The GTF also proposed to expand the board's authority to borrow for emergency repairs that might be needed in case of a flood or other natural disaster. This provision would be analogous to the limits on borrowing that cities and towns adhere to in order to secure favorable ratings of their bonds. Here's how the limit on borrowing would have affected the center reconstruction project. The original $5.7 million proposal would have brought total debt over the threshold, triggering a vote by the owners. The $4.5 million proposal that was finally approved would not have pushed total debt over the threshold, partly because in the interim, ECA routinely paid off some of its debt, and partly because revenue had increased. And of course, the total project cost was lower. Until Eastman has worked down our overall debt, the council and board will have less flexibility than they do now to fund projects that require additional borrowing without getting direct approval from the owners. The second check is retaining the provision that enables owners to petition for a referendum, but the GTF proposes to improve the existing provision by providing for a clearer referendum structure and for a committee to develop balanced information regarding the question at hand. Taken together, this package of interrelated proposals recognizes how important it is that owners trust that they're being represented fairly. The GTF believes that the adoption of the package will increase owners' confidence that their representatives are paying proper attention to their preferences and interests. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts and give feedback by sending us an email. To read or download the entire GTF report, go to the ECA website, www.eastmannh.us, and sign in. If you've never logged in before, you can create an account. A link to the GTF is included at the top of the page. Click on the link and scroll down to the Governance Task Force Summary or to the Summary and Final Report. You can read the document online, download it, or print it.